December. Isn't it the best time of the year? Cold weather, warm drinks, soup. I like soup. And also, the video game awards. I'm a big fan. This year I didn't really watch the awards themselves because I wasn't really playing a lot of games. I've been doing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which you may know if you've seen a lot of our past videos, which you can find here on the channel and on a few of our other links too, which we'll get into later. But right now, I want to talk about my favorite part about the Video Game Awards. Trailers. Primo content ahead of schedule, showing us what we can expect going forward in the new year. And a little further for one of the other trailers. Hey, it's kind of crazy this time around. But I want to highlight some of my favorite trailers and speculate a little bit on where their stories might be going. Let's dive in. So, I mentioned being far out. Not like far out, but like further out scheduling wise. That's going to be Alan Wake 2. Holy shit, like, right? Finally getting there. I don't know where they're going with this other than it looks like we're still kind of in the same town that the first one took place in. Maybe somewhere adjacent from that in the same state. Unsure. The scenery looks to be right. You still have your little flashlight doohickey that keeps the dark away from you. But past that, it's looking a little sparse. They also said 2023 for it. So I think it's more of a confirmation of a like, hey, we're doing it, more than it is like showing us what to really expect from the game as a whole. They also showed like a spooky version of Alan where he's like got like dark blood all over his face and stuff, and he's like, that's probably gonna tie into the story of like a weird like evil Alan, or possibly like him seeing his worst nightmares, which is an evil version of himself hurting his family, because he is a family guy at the end of the day. Who knows? Am I excited? Yeah, I'd say so. Control is a really good game, and that was really made just to kind of fund the other one, if you ask me. And here we are, announcing the new arrival of Alan Wake 2. Long awaited, sure. Cult classic, still kind of, yeah. I think it's rocky. We still got a lot to wait and see. Speaking of waiting and seeing, we might have to do a bit more for Star Wars Eclipse. Looks and sounds super cool. The idea of light and dark overlapping. The trailer itself had a lot of like cool scenes where there's this one scene where it was like a horde of enemies, and then it was like a red lightsaber and a blue lightsaber. Was it orange? It might have been orange. I don't know. But I thought it was red, and that was kind of cool. And then it showed like weird like internal politics shit and people who didn't look like they maybe should have been on the Senate, like taking power on the Senate. So if I could venture a guess from anything between this and the High Republic, which is one of the shows they're planning on doing, this might go further into the corruption of the light side and the dark side really starting to take hold inside of the Senate itself in the greater Star Wars universe, which is cool. I love anything Star Wars that has nothing to do with the Skywalker clan. I gotta be honest with you, they're boring. They don't do anything for me. Luke is weird, and I don't like him as a protagonist. Rey is, I don't know. So another one that we saw some footage for this time around was Forspoken. They showed this previously in the year, kind of confirming that it was a thing, and you saw their female protagonist doing like cool parkour with these wavy little metal bands flying around her, and then that was kind of it. Now we have seen that Forspoken is going to be a game that takes place with somebody possibly from our world teleporting into the Fey world and having to deal with weird magical crises in that plane of existence. But hey, cool armbands that give you magical powers, like the cool rock move, like the Dai Li from Avatar. Also, some freezing action, so maybe elemental magic that you get throughout the story, or maybe each of the rings is like 10 Mach long ring style from like, you know, if you know, you know. Anyway, the protagonists themselves seems to be a little annoying. Sorry. I mean, it's just, the dialogue seems fucking annoying. The face tracking is pretty good, honestly. But it looks a little weird and clunky. If you ask me, it looks like there's a studio trying to get out the Lost Soul Aside aesthetic and feel out before they get that out on the Sony side of things, which that is a game that is being worked on. If you've never seen Lost Soul Aside, look it up. Seriously, it's like every DMC player's dream. Good game. Forspoken looks fun. Excited. Now, you know me, I don't like spooky, but there was a trailer for Slither Head, which was like weird, like not futuristic, but maybe like slightly modern, maybe 90s era Japan, having to deal with these weird yokai monster things, somewhere between like Parasite and Tokyo Ghoul. It's really crazy. The monsters are wild. You should look it up. Slither Head. It's a very strange name. Not a lot to go off of other than the fact that it's going to be a weird, gross game. But I'm excited. Honestly, the designs look really cool. It's enough for me, a big scaredy cat, to want to actually play the game. So hey, it's got that going for it. Now the next one I can't stop talking about, to be completely honest with you, and that's Elden Ring. Yes, footage. Sweet, beautiful, juicy story. Oh, it looks so good. There's a guy with 2 big curved swords in the fucking trailer, and he was like trying to hit the lady with Melinda, the lady with like the arm that fucking came off, and she like grabbed the blade and stabbed him, and then the world still ended anyway, so it didn't matter with that cool fucking war sequence. Past that, I actually got to spend some time in the closed network test recently playing Elden Ring, and I gotta say, I am in love. Oh my goodness. If you were like if I could describe the feeling to anyone, if you loved Ocarina of Time and then fell head over heels for Breath of the Wild, it's kind of like that. Like, I am infatuated with the Dark Souls series, and then I played Elden Ring and I was like, this is like, oh man, cream of the crop, going to the top. I can't wait for this game to come out, guys. It's gonna be the best. Now, special shout out to It Takes Two, game of the year. Really good. I like games that are really story heavy like that, especially co-op. Awesome. Winning, that's amazing. You know, I'm super stoked for that. But speaking of twos, Setsuna has a saga now because we're going into a second game. Another Hellblade game. That's kind of scary because that game Ninja Theory has crafted is like super near hyper realistic. Its engine is fabulous. The graphics that it renders are just beautiful. The first one tackled some pretty heavy themes with going into mental health and such themes of that nature. And this next one I thought was not going to be like, well, I don't know what I expected, but then like they were fighting a fucking giant and I was like, oh cool, she's like hallucinating or something, we're used to that. And then it like grabbed the dude and everybody saw, and I was like, holy crap, that's a real fucking giant. So magic is real still in the world of Hellblade. It looks just as wild. Setsuna seems to be leading a group of, I don't know if they're like hunters or survivors or raiders, but she's in charge. And she also, like at the end, hears like a voice or has some type of connection, and finds out that she needs to help this giant. That there's this like big chase sequence, they're like throwing spears. It's really pretty. It feels like a Strand type game. I don't know how else to say it. It just feels like Death Stranding. I don't know. Like, it looks like it. Something about it. Look at Death Stranding's trailer and then watch the trailer for Hellblade 2 and you're going to be like, yeah, like I feel the energy. You know what I mean? I'm really excited. It's a very story-heavy game, or at least Setsuna Sacrifice was, and I have a lot of high hopes for this one. Speaking of story-driven games, can I say that if any one game's story has my attention and I'm like super excited for, it's Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Brainiac shows up in Metropolis, seemingly defeats everybody, and Amanda Waller's like, all right, cool. Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, Boomer, fucking good luck. You've got this. Oh, man. It's like one of those games you have a fever dream about, hoping that they'll make. But then somebody finally decided to do it. We got a trailer for that and finally got to see more of the powers. King Shark's cool. He's like climbing up on buildings and jumping, doing ground pound like Knuckles moves from the Sonic series. He also has a minigun. That's very cool. Harley has a drone. It's like a Batman drone that she has with her that she uses to like grapple to. Deadshot gets a weird fucking hyper exhaust jetpack where he flies around and he's fucking shooting people and doing like bullet time like Dante. It's crazy. And Boomer secretly looks like he's the most fun because you're throwing the boomerang around everywhere and like teleporting or like running to it. But then you also have all of his goofy boomerangs too. So it's like a nice healthy mix of the wackiness that is his villainy as a villain himself, but also like the tech that he has access to, which I'm still gonna venture a guess is like Star Labs tech or like future tech that he got from Reverse Flash. But hey, I'm not exactly sure. Speaking of the Flash though, he was in the trailer. He is definitely being mind controlled. He's like saying like cuss words and stuff, which I don't think Barry would normally do, at least to the rogues, you know what I mean? But his eyes were like all purpley and shit. Either way, if this is how the story is going, I can't wait to see what's next. And I can't wait to see who is on the roster of the Justice League. That's what I'm most excited for. Obviously, Big Blue's on it. Obviously, Batman's on it. Obviously, The Flash, Wonder Woman, I'm expecting them. But they could throw some curveballs. Maybe Mr. Terrific's on it if they're doing like Justice League of America. I don't know. I didn't make the game. But I am excited for it. And I can't wait to see it and the other games that I've talked about on this list. Well, that's going to do it for the trailers that interested me, at the very least, this time around on Dynamic Entry. But if you liked this and are interested in some of our other content, don't worry. You can check us out either on TikTok, Instagram, or even here on YouTube. We've got tons of stuff for you to check out, whether it be card stuff, comic stuff, anime, games, and general geek fandom. We've got it here for you. And we can't wait to see you in the next video. Thanks.